Hello everyone, and welcome to a quick lesson on simple interest and what it is. So, the first question, obviously, what is simple interest? Heck, what's interest? Okay, so let's imagine you have two people, yes? So, this person over here is called John. Now this person over here is called Mary. Okay, now let's imagine that John has a lot of money. Let's imagine that John has $500. But he doesn't know what to do with it. John would really like to try and make some more money. He has that 500, but how does he make it bigger? How does he get more money? Now Mary, on the other hand, is flat broke. Mary has no money. So John has an idea. John's going to go ahead and take his $500 and he's going to lend it to Mary. That way Mary has money now. Yeah? So Mary, of course, is now extremely happy. But John is not doing this because he wants to be nice. John has a plan. John's going to lend Mary the money, but he's only going to lend it to her for 2 years. Now, after 2 years, Mary has to pay him the money back. So Mary has to pay him the $500 back, but she also has to pay him an extra $100 for the convenience of using John's money. So Mary borrowed $500. She got to use it for 5 years, but now that she's paying it back, she has to pay the $500 plus an extra $100. So now she has to pay $600 back in total. Mary just got sad very quickly because she has to pay more money than she ever borrowed. That is what interest is, the extra money you pay in a loan. So let's take a look at how it looks in a mathematical sense with a formula. So your formula is really simple. I, interest, equals principal times rate times time. I equals PRT. I stands for simple interest. So in the example we just saw, the $100 extra that Mary would have to pay, that's the simple interest. That's how much money is paid for using a loan. The principal is the initial amount borrowed. So in the previous example, the initial amount borrowed was $500. Yeah. The rate of interest is going to be the percent that one person charges another to use their money, and you're going to write that percent as a decimal. And T is how much time in years it takes to pay the money back. So in the previous example, again, it took 2 years for Mary to pay John back, so that's what the T would be. Let's see how this would look like in a separate situation. So let's say you have this example given to you. I equals PRT, your principal is $6,000, your rate's 8%, your time is 4 years, find the interest. Okay, well, I'm going to start by filling in my equation. Interest equals P, which is going to be 6,000, times my rate. Now with a rate, it's really important. You can't put it as a percent. You need to put it as a decimal. So take the decimal point, move it 2 spots to the left. You get 0.08. So that's 0.08. Okay, 0.08 times my time, T, and my time is 4 years. Now all you have to do to find your interest is multiply. So we're going to go ahead and use the calculator. 6,000 times 0.08 times 4 equals 1,920. So the interest is going to be 1,920. That's how much money has to be paid for this loan. So, I mean, that's a lot of money considering how small the loan is. But on top of that, if you go ahead and you want to find out the total amount paid back, you would take the initial $6,000 and you would add the interest, 1,920. So your total that you would have to pay back would be $7,920. That's how much you would pay back in total. Now, that's for example 1. Let's go ahead and let's move to another example. So let's say you have example 2. Again, interest equals principal times rate times time. The principal is $10,500, the rate is 12%, and the time is 9 months. Okay, well let's start filling this in. So my interest, I don't know, equals my principal. The principal here is going to be $10,500. So 10,500 times my rate. Again, let's be very careful. The rate, I have to take the decimal and move it 2 spots to the left. So this becomes 0.12. So 10,500 times 0.12, yeah, times, now here's the problem. My time has to be written in years, but they haven't told me years. They've told me 9 months. How would I write this? Well, I know that there are 12 months in a year, So maybe I can write it as a fraction. 9 months out of 12. I can go ahead and I can do that. Okay, so I'm going to put 9 out of 12. Now, I know I can rewrite this as interest equals 10,500 times 0.12, and I know that 9 over 12 as a fraction, I mean, when I divide that, 9 divided by 12, that should be 0.75. Boom. Now this I can just do straight out in my calculator. So it's going to be 10,500 multiplied by 0.12 multiplied by 0.75. And it gives me a final answer of 945. So interest equals $945. Now again, if I wanted to find out the total, that would just take me adding the initial $10,500 that was borrowed to the $945 interest. So if I want to find out how much I'm paying back, I would just add these up, and I would get $11,445 that I had to pay back. Now let's move on to another example. In this example, they've changed it up on us a little bit. They've given us the principal, they've given us the rate, but they didn't give us the time. Instead, they gave us interest. So, well, let's try solving it the exact same way I would solve any equation. Let me fill in what I know. So the interest is 5,670, which equals the principal, which is going to be 7,000, times the rate. Now again, I can't put in 27, I have to make it a decimal. With that decimal point 2 spots to the left, that becomes 0.27, 0.27. So 7,000 times 0.27 times my time, which I still don't know. So I'm going to set it up like that. Okay, now this seems like an equation. I'm going to start by doing the one thing I know I can do with these numbers. I know I have to multiply 7,000 times 0.27, so let me do that. 7,000 times 0.27 equals 1,890. So let me just rewrite here. It's going to be 1,890 times my variable t equals 5,670. Now, my goal here is to have my variable, my t, alone. And it's currently not alone. It has a 1,890 next to it. Those two numbers are currently multiplying. Now, if I want to get rid of the 1,890, I need to do the opposite of multiply, which is divide by 1,890. So I'm just going to go ahead and divide to cancel out. Now, if I'm making a change like that to the right-hand side of my equation, I have to make it to the left-hand side too. So I'm going to divide by 1,890 on both sides. Now on the right, 1,890 divided by 1,890 will cancel out, and I'm left with t equals, and now, once again, pulling out the handy-dandy calculator, 5,670 divided by 1,890. So 5,670 divided by 1,890 equals 3. So, working backwards, I found out that my time is 3 years.